Hello students, welcome to the 11th tutorial class on neural network and fuzzy logic, and this class will be presented by myself, Dr. Sudeep Mondal, Assistant Professor of Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering from Jalpaiguri Government Engineering College. So coming to the content of this class, in this class we shall discuss a very important topic related with the neural network, that is called the associative memory. Okay, and after the formal definition of the associative memory, we shall discuss different kinds of associative memory. Those are auto-associative memory, hetero-associative memory, and last of all, bidirectional associative memory. So let's start. So first of all, the definition. What is associative memory? Okay. So an associative memory is a content addressable structure that maps a set of input pattern to a set of output patterns. So here we use an important term, that is content addressable structure. So what is content addressable structure? Basically, it is a type of memory that allows to recall a data based on its degree of similarity between input pattern and the pattern stored in the memory. So it will be cleared if we give a formal example for the associative memory. So here let's consider this one is the memory structure memory where different uh, name are already stored here, like Alex Graham Bell, Thomas Edison, Christopher Columbus, Albert Einstein, etc. etc. Okay, so if this memory is content addressable memory, that means we should find out something based on its content. Okay, and it is quite different from the conventional computer memory system. In case of associative memory, we access the content based on we access based on some input pattern. Okay, whereas in case of traditional computer memory system, we access the particular content only depending on the respective address. So that's why we called it this type of memory, associative memory, as the content addressable memory. Okay, so how does it work? Basically this type of memory allows the recall of information based on the partial knowledge of its contents. So let's see. So you can see that in if this memory is a content addressable memory, then if we type a string of Christopher Columbus, you can see that there is error in the spelling of the name Christopher. It should be Christopher Columbus. Okay, you can here you can see that in between T and P, O is missing, and Columbus spelling is also wrong. So what will happen? So in case of content addressable memory, it will find out the degree of similarity in its contents, and you will see that if it is close to the Christopher Columbus, so whenever it will be close to the Christopher Columbus term, the respective output will be the Christopher Columbus. That means we get the actual or correct um, content. Okay, so this type of memory is called the input addressable sorry content addressable memory. Okay, so we can say that this type of memory is basically robust and fault tolerance, because this type of memory exhibits some form of error correction capability. So you can see that whenever you give a wrong string of name, and it can give the correct string of name. Okay, so that's why use this or we make the statement like it have some error correction capability. Okay, so I hope by using this example you can understand what is associative memory. Okay, now what is the necessity of using this kind of associative memory in neural network? So basically this phenomenon is quite similar to our human brain. Okay, because human brain is memory is quite associative. That means suppose 10 years ago you have seen a particular face, but you after 10 years you just can't recall the actual uh, image of that face, but you can recall that after seeing a part of that eyes or part of the nose, you can recall the whole image also. Okay. So basically our human brain uses a chain of mental association to recover lost memory, like association of faces with names in exam, question with answer, etc., etc. So in question, suppose in exam we forget the total answer, but somehow if your friend gives some kind of clue, you get the total answer. So that is called the actually association. Okay. Now this is the content addressable memory, and this is called the associative memory, and it can be implemented using the neural network structure. And if the neural network has been used for the implementation of the associative memory, this type of model can be called as the NAM, or neural associative memory. Okay. So we can see the different kinds of neural associative memory architecture in the upcoming slides. Now coming to the classification of associative memory. Okay, so we can classify the associative memory into two types. First one is the auto associative memory. Basically, this example actually give you the auto associative memory. Why? So what is auto associative memory? So you can we also call this as auto associative correlator. Basically, it is used to retrieve a previously stored pattern that mostly close resemble to the current pattern. You can say that you can retrieve the name Christopher Columbus, which is mostly close to the name of the respective input. Okay, so this is basically, this example is nothing but the auto associative memory. So here you can say that input pattern and output pattern, if we consider the with aspect of neural networks, here the number of input node and number of output node are basically same, because we want to retrieve the same pattern which is close to the input. Okay. And the next one is the heteroassociative memory. As the name suggests, hetero, that means different. So here the retrieve pattern in general differ from the input pattern. Okay, so here the it is differ from the input pattern. Okay, and not only in content but also possible in different type and format. Like it is possible that uh, Columbus, here if we consider this example. So if it is possible that if we give the name Christopher Columbus, and if we it can give either scientist or teacher or like this. So that means if each of the string has some kind of its association with the others feature, so that will be the output. If that feature is the output, so that will be the hetero associative memory. That means here for each of the input pattern, there is some kind of association with the another form, another type of output pattern. Okay, so it is used to retrieve pattern in general different from the input pattern, not only in content but possibly also different in type and format. Okay, so uh, so these are the two main class of the associative memory. Auto associative, where the input pattern and output pattern are same. That means we want to retrieve the same, we want to output the actual pattern for some kind of noisy input data. And in case of hetero associative memory, we want to retrieve pattern which are differ from the input pattern, but it may be differ in type and format also. So here is the basically a block diagram of auto associative memory and hetero associative memory that will help you to understand with more clarity. You can see that in case of auto assistive memory, if the input is some kind of distorted, so you can see that. So by using the auto associative memory or content addressable memory structure, we should find out which pattern or which stored data is close to the distorted pattern. Here you can see that this pattern is quite similar to the this distorted pattern. So obviously the output will be blue, this kind of shape. So recall the perfect pattern will and this will be the actual output. Okay, so here the input and output will be the actually will be the same for the ideal cases. Okay, So but in case of heteroassociative memory, you can see that if the input pattern is presented, so it is not that it is the output will be triangle. So here the input is triangle, though it is not that output will be also triangle. Why? Because in case of heteroassociative memory, in the associative memory structure, there is a association between input pattern and output pattern. So what is that? That means here it is stored that if this triangle has been is coming as the input pattern, the output pattern will be this kind of shape. So obviously the output will be the differ, and and output will be this kind of shape. Okay. So here if the input is triangle, so obviously the output is also triangle. But here if the input is triangle, depending on the stored association, the output will be the differ from the input pattern. Okay, so that's why you use the term hetero. And that means differ, that means input and output pattern are different. But in case of auto associative memory, the input and output pattern are same. So if there is a noise, but using the auto associative memory, we can clearly recall the perfect pattern which is close to the most close to the input pattern. But in case of heteroassociative memory, if we give some kind of input based on the association with the in the stored memory, the output will be the respective associated pattern. Okay. So these are the basically the mathematical formulation by which we can explain the auto associative and hetero associative memory. So let us consider y1, y2, y3 up to ym be the number of stored pattern vector, and let ym be the component of this vector representing the feature extracted from the patterns. Okay. So the auto associative memory will output a pattern vector ym when the input is a noisy or incomplete version of ym. You can see that output pattern is also ym, and input is the noisy or incomplete version of ym. It is possible that ym and for ideal cases, input and output are same. Okay, so that's why we use the term auto associative. Clear? Now okay, let us consider that hetero associative memory. So here the memory function is more general. Okay, so in case of hetero associative memory, for each of the input pattern, there is respective output or this respective response. So you can call it as key response pair. Okay, so if the C1 is the key, that means input, and Y1 is the respective output, so you can call it as key response pair. So for this kind of input, we always get this kind of output. So if there is input as C1, so we always get output as Y1. If the input is C2, we get the respective output as Y2. You can see that C1 is not equal to the Y1. Okay, that means C1 and Y1, the size or type or content are quite different from each other. But in case of associative memory, the size and content are formatting are the same. In case of what heteroassociative memory, for each of the input pattern, there is respective output pattern is that is stored in the respective associative memory. So C1 Y1, C2 Y2, and CM Y1, these are the basically key response pair. So the heteroassociative memory will give output a pattern vector ym if a noisy or incomplete version of the cm is given. Okay, so that is the main difference between autoassociative and heteroassociative. Now, let's see the architecture of auto-associative memory. You already told that associative memory can be implemented using neural network. So let's see how auto-associative memory and hetero-associative memory can be implemented using neural network structure. Okay. In case of auto-associative memory, if you want to implement using it neural network, so we need to use a single layer neural network structure. Okay, so single layer means there is no hidden layer in between input and output layer. So basically auto assistive memory use a single layer neural network in which the input training vector and the output target vector are the same. So you can see that this one is the architecture, and this one are the input node x1 x2 up to xn, and this one are the respective output, which one from y1 y2 up to yn. You can see that now n the number of input is n, and similarly the number of target vector is also n. That means those are the same. Okay, so this is the main concept of the auto associative memory that can be implemented using neural network. And in between input node and output node, w11, w12 up to w1n, these are the weight between input node and output node. Okay, so x1, x2, up to xn, these are the input vector, and y1, y2 up to yn, these are the target vector, output target vector. Basically both are the same. So whenever we want to train it, or we want to store a particular pattern, so x1, x2, xn, similarly y1 into yn are will be same, and based on that weight will be updated one by one. Okay, so let's see the how this training algorithm works. So we can use any kind of learning rule. Basically you can use like Heb learning rule or delta learning rule. So let's see the step one. So initially, all the weights of the neural network based auto assistive memory, that is Wij, will be initialized to 0 for I equal to 1 to n and j equal to 1 to n. Okay, and the next is perform step 3 to 4 for each of the input vector. So what we can do that, suppose s1 si is the particular input pattern, so that will be go to the input node, and same thing will be go to the output node, and so we get the input node and output node, and based on that output would be adjusted using this formula: wij new equal to wij old plus xi y1 ij xi yj. Okay, so this will be continued for the each of the input vector. Now coming to the testing algorithm. So after the particular training, for this particular input pattern, if this can give particular output, so we need to check it that actually it can give the same input or not. Okay, so what we can do that, so first step one is the use the weight that is obtained from the earlier stage using training algorithm, or training algorithm using Heb's rule. Next, perform the step 3 to 5 for each of the input vector. Now, next, set the activation of the input unit equal to the input vector, that is same. That means Sij equal to Xj, that is the same. And next, calculate the total or net input to each output unit, that is j equal to 1 to n. So total output is ynj equal to summation I to I equal to 1 to n xi into wij. Okay, now use the activation function. So this is basically this is the step function. So if yin greater than 0, the output will be plus 1, and if less than 0, it will be minus 1. Okay, now based on this value we can check if input and output are same or not. If we can say that both are the same, so obviously you can say that algorithm works perfectly. So next is the heteroassociative memory. So basically it is quite similar to the auto associative memory, and here we also use the single layer neural network. Only the difference is that the number of input and number of output nodes are the different, because in case of heteroassociative memory, we the input pattern, input and output are quite different with respect to numbers, with respect to types, with respect to format also. Okay, so you can see that the architecture content, x1 node, x2 node up to xn node, where n is the number of input node, and output node is y1, y2 up to ym, where m is the number of output target vectors. So obviously n is not equal to m. So in normal condition n is greater than m. Okay, so this one is the architecture of heteroassociative memory, and where n is the number of input node and m is the number of output target node. Okay, and here similarly w1 wij up to wim, these are the weight in between input and output net. There is no hidden layer, and obviously we need to update the weight to get the particular uh, particular key response pair. Mm, like for c1 input we get the respective y1 output. Okay, so let's see how it works. So training algorithm is quite similar. So uh, what is that? So here we also use the Hebs rule. We can use also delta learning rule, but for simpler case we use the Hebs rule. So initialize all the weights to 0. So wij equal to 0, where I equal to 1 to n, but j equal to 1 to m. And next we need to perform step 3 to 4 for each of the input vector. So what we can do, that we need to activate the each of the input node and output node. So what will happen, if the input pattern is si, so we can get all the we can store the, we can store all the value of particular pattern in the respective x1, x2, x3 up to xn node. And if the respective association output is suppose c, so what will happen, so activate each of the output unit as yj equal to cj, so, sorry, cj or yj. So yj equal to sj. So basically these are not same. Okay, si and this si and this sj are not same. Okay, so for each of that is for during the training, for each of the input pattern there is another output pattern. So input pattern is stored, go to the xi, and output pattern goes to the output unit. So yj equal to sj, that is the significance. So after that, after the activation of input node and output node, or input unit or output unit, we can need to adjust the weights, and the by using the following formula: wij new equal to wij old plus xi into yj. So that is the training algorithm. It will be continued till all the input patterns are covered. Now coming to the testing algorithm. So here you also need to calculate the net input for each of the input pattern. So what we can do, that if the input pattern is xi, x1, x2, x3, xm, up to xn, and so total output will be yin equal to summation from I equal to 1 to n xi into wij. So next following activation will be implemented to get the um, uh, output, calculated output. So yj equal to function of ing. So here if ing greater than 0, the output is plus 1. If ing equal to 0, it will be 0. And if ing less than 0, the output is minus 1. Okay, so based on that we need to check that if for particular input pattern the same or the correct associative output has been obtained or not. Now next one is the another type of associative memory, that is known as the bidirectional associative memory. Basically it is a part or subclass of hetero associative memory. So the concept is here that you can see that bidirectional, that means it can work in both direction. So in case of in case of normal associative memory, if the associative pattern pair is xi, so in case of auto associative memory, x equal to y, but in case of hetero associative memory, x is not equal to y. Okay, so in case of normal hetero associative memory, we can recall y if the input pattern is given. Okay, but in case of bidirectional associative memory, this procedure can be vice versa. That means we can recall pattern y if the input x is given. Similarly, we can recall pattern x if y is given. Okay, that means it can work in both direction. Okay, that's why it is the term bidirectional. Okay, you can, if you can see the architecture, it will be very clear to you. So you can see that x1p up to xn, so there is n number of input, and m number of output in the output layer. So for a particular input pattern x1, x2 up to xn, we get y1, y2, y up to ym for a in forward direction. Okay, but if we so in that scenario, this work as input layer and this work as the output layer. But if we give some input to the in this layer, so if y1, y2, yj up to ym are the input, then obviously if we get same input, same output like x1, x2, x3 up to xn. So that in that case we can call it as the bidirectional associative memory. So when BAM accept an input n-dimensional vector x from the set A, then the model recall the m-dimensional vector y from the set B. Similarly, when y is treated as input, the BAM recall x. So when x is given, if we get y, and when y is given, if we get x, then it will call as the BAM architecture, and it is very useful in case of error detection. Okay, so when an input noisy data is given, BAM architecture work very very correctly. Okay, so this one is basically the conclusion. So in this tutorial class, we have learned some important concept like architecture, training and testing algorithm for different kind of associative memory. So here we learn about three different associative memory. One is auto associative memory, where input pattern and output pattern are same. In case of hetero associative memory, the input and output patterns are not same. Basically, they can be there is some kind of input and output pair, association pair, which is called as the key response pair. So for each of the different inputs, we can get a different output pattern. And in case of BAM, it is a subclass of heteroassociative memory where it work in both direction. That means if x is given as input, we get the y as output, and when y is given as input, we get the x as in output. Okay, so that's all. If you have any query, please post it. Thank you.